Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're going to talk about something that it's kind of mind-blowing that it's still relevant in 2023 because there's so much information out there on the internet, on your phone, so accessible, but yet people are either too stupid to do the research themselves or they're just lazy and take someone else's word for it without doing the research themselves. So before I even begin, guys, do your research. I just want to lead with that because there is so much information in the world when it comes to the military and everything that you can and can't do, yet we still hear rumor. That being said, guys, we're going to hop into today's topic, which is common military misconceptions. Now, I say military because this happens across all branches. Yes, I'm a Marine. Yes, I am a Marine recruiter, and I typically talk about the Marine Corps in general. When you're in high school or you're a graduate or whatever the case is, and you're getting ready to join the military or you're considering it, you need to do your research and educate yourselves on what each branch can do for you. But for whatever reason, these rumors started years ago that certain branches got paid more than others, and other branches could do this and they can't do that, and yada yada yada. Whereas that's just not true. And I'm gonna keep it real with you guys today because I'm a Marine recruiter. Everyone says that recruiters lie and also the BS, but if you know me, you know I'm the realest person out there. I'm gonna tell you exactly how it is. If you don't believe me, check out my Instagram and go watch my videos because I keep it real and I answer the questions that you guys want answered most, and I just keep it real as the information that you would want someone telling you and not giving you the fluff, etc. So if you have a question, let me know. I'm going to answer it directly for you. But with that being said, let's hop into number one. And number one is pay. Guys, let me tell you, I've been in the Marine Corps for 15 years, and I've seen this rumor, and I've heard this rumor for about 15 years, as long as I've been in, and it's just crazy because if you do a quick Google search, you will quickly realize that it is false, yet I have people coming here and sit in the chair I'm in right now saying that, I heard the Air Force gets paid more, I'm going to join that branch instead, and I'm like, dude, where did you hear this from? My mom's brother's uncle's cousin's cat told me that, and yeah, it must be true. And I'm like, bro, let me show you the facts right here. And I pull out a piece of paper that says this is the facts, this is this is right, this is wrong, etc. But my point is, guys, an E1 in the Marine Corps and an E1 in the Air Force, Army, Navy, whatever branch for that matter, because we're all DoD, Department of Defense, we all get paid the exact same. The only time pay changes is when you're a higher rank or you've been in longer than someone else. So for instance, I'm an E7, I've been in for right around 15 years. I get paid more than an E7 who's been in for 12 years, although we're the same rank because I have more time in service. But an E7 who's been in for 16 years gets paid more than me because he's been in longer than me, but we're all the same rank. Hopefully that makes sense. But whether I'm an E7 in the Marine Corps, E7 in the Army, Navy, Air Force, etc., if we've all been in the same amount of time, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, etc., and we're all the same rank, we get paid the exact same. That was another thing, too. The Marine Corps is the lowest paying branch, and I just think it's funny because I'm like, you think I'm working for free? Like, you really think I'm going to do this for free and work for little to no pay? Like, I was at a high school one day, true story. Guy came up, we're doing a table display. Army's next to me on this side, Navy's on this side, and they're going around, talking, getting information and whatnot. And the girl's like, hey, I heard from the Army that you guys, work basically for free. And I looked her right in the face and I was like, does that make sense? And she's like, no, not really. I'm like, let's be honest. Do you really feel like on a Saturday morning at 8 o'clock I would be here working for free at a school? And she's like, no, not really. And I'm like, exactly. I would never do this for free, let alone for less pay than any other branch. So that's the first misconception. Number two, that you cannot choose your job in the military. Now, this is a big thing when it comes to the Marine Corps because so many people are like, well, I'm going to join this branch, specifically the Army or the Air Force or the Navy, because I can choose my job there guaranteed, but I can't do that in the Marine Corps. Now, again, guys, I keep it real. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. Yes, you can choose your job in the Marine Corps, but there's a caveat to that. And here's what I mean. On active duty, you don't pick your specific MOS. So for instance, when I grew up in the Marine Corps, when I enlisted, I was in 0600. I was communications, and the communications field MOS is 0600. So you don't get those last two designators, the last two digits that give you that specific MOS until you go to your MOS school. So for instance, I went to Fort Gordon, Georgia at an Army base a long time ago. When I graduated, I was in 0627 satellite communications operator. That was my primary MOS. Now, I guess in other branches, you can get the specific 0627 MOS, 0621, etc. But on active duty in the Marine Corps, you get a guaranteed MOS field based off your ASVAB scores. We don't promise any jobs or anything until you get back from MEPS with an ASVAB score, or you take the ASVAB in high school. We do what's called a high school test pool, which means you have a qualifying score already. We pull that in lieu of you taking it at MEPS. If anybody is promising you any job before you take the ASVAB, that's a lie, because you can't get a job you don't qualify for. If you want to be an intel specialist, that's a job that requires a lot of intelligence, right? You have to have a high GT score in that field, and if you score a 33 on the ASVAB, you're not going to have that score necessary to get that job. So if I was to guarantee you something, it would be a lie, which is where a lot of recruiters mess up by doing things ahead of time. So yes, you can choose your specific MOS. On the reserve side, which is our part-time, service, essentially, you do get a guaranteed specific MOS. So for instance, if you wanted to be an 0627 specifically and that job was available, you could get that job specifically instead of being on active duty and only getting the 0600 field, which you could be an 0621 radio operator, 0627 satellite communications operator, 0631, which I think is network system specialist, and an 0671, which is a data networking specialist. One's hardware, one's software, etc. So all those MOSs are in the same field. You don't get the last two designators until after you graduate that school. Number 3, the ASVAB. Guys, the ASVAB is the Armed Service Vocational Aptitude Battery Test. That is for the entire military. There is no Army version, there is no Air Force version, there is no Navy version, Marine version, etc. It is all the same. I have so many kids saying, I only want to take the Air Force version of the ASVAB. And I'm like, what does that even mean? What are you talking about? There's only one test. Well, this recruiter told me this, and that one told me that. I'm like, look, man, it's all the same. The scoring, everything's identical on the test. The only difference is, pay attention, is that each branch uses the different line scores to qualify you for jobs. So for instance, here in the Marine Corps, we use 4 scores. We use a GT or general technical, an EL electrical, an MM or mechanical score, and a CL and a clerical score. Any one of those 4 scores right there qualify you for various jobs here in the Marine Corps. Now, the Navy is going to use nuclear and all these other codes that qualify you for jobs there. The Army is going to use different scores or variables off that same test to qualify you for jobs in that branch. And the Air Force is going to do the same. But the test is the exact same. They just use different variables from that test to qualify you for jobs in their service. Again, same test, different sections qualify you for different jobs based on the branch you want to get into. So there is no difference. One of the next biggest things that people get a huge misconception about is educational benefits when it comes to the military. Guys, in all branches on active duty, you get the same educational benefits, which is $4,500 per year to go to school, whether that's in person or online. Again, $4,500 no matter what branch you're on, every single year to go to school. And then when you get out of the service, no matter what branch you're in, you get what's called the GI Bill, which gives you 36 additional months to go to school, where they're going to pay you in your tuition in full to go to school and pay you what's called basic allowance for housing, which is essentially giving you money to pay rent, bills, etc., to live somewhere wherever you're located at, so you're focused on school and not necessarily on working. Again, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, everything's exactly the same when it comes to that. When it comes to tangible things in the military, we're all the same. Benefits are the same. Medical, dental, that's all the same. Educational benefits, all the same. Pay, all the same based off rank and time in service. These things are all the same across all branches. Now, the big differences between the branches are the intangible things, the things that those branches care about specifically. The Marines care about things differently than the Army. The Army cares about different things than the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Air Force. The Air Force focuses more on this, where the Marine Corps focuses more on that. Army does more of this, the Navy does more of that, etc. The intangibles are what separate all the branches from each other. The tangible things, the things you can get, money, stuff like that, it's all the same across the boards. Oh, and lastly, speaking of that, let's talk about bonuses real quick. Yes, we all know the Air Force, has bonuses. The Army and Navy, they have big bonuses because they advertise them everywhere. $20, $30, $40, $50,000 bonuses. But no one ever hears about the Marine Corps bonuses. And they're like, oh, Marine Corps, we don't have bonuses. They don't exist. Guys, they do exist. We just don't advertise them. Now, what I will say, again, keeping it real, we have bonuses, but we don't have $50,000 bonuses. We just don't. All right, we're the smallest branch, We have the least amount of money, so we don't have that type of money to give out to people. Bonuses exist in the Marine Corps. We have shipping bonuses, which is you going to school. We have shipping bonuses, which is you going to boot camp. There are specific job bonuses when it comes to different jobs in the Marine Corps based off, how hard is that job and availability. Hey, we need more people in this job that's more technical. We're gonna give you a bonus to do that. Sometimes it's 5, 8, 10, 12, up to $15,000 at some instances. Is everyone gonna get that? No. But certain qualified people will get that bonus. And then once you're already in the Marine Corps, we also have re-enlistment bonuses too. Again, some jobs, years ago, $50, $60, $70, $80,000 re-enlistment bonuses, but people just don't hear about that, or they don't do the research to find out if they exist or not. So yes, every branch has bonuses. Some branches, Army, Navy, they project them out to the world. They're on advertisements, they're on the buildings, you see them all over, social media, etc. Air Force has them. Sometimes they talk about them. Marine Corps, we have them too. Do the research, talk to a recruiter, ask them what's available. Not always available, but sometimes it is. And see if you qualify for one too. Another big misconception is that if I join the military, I have to go to war. Guys, it's 2023 right now, and the U.S. military is at no active conflicts. And what that means is that we're in a peacetime military. We're not in Iraq anymore. We're not in Afghanistan anymore. We're not actively deploying on a large scale anywhere in the world. You're not going anywhere. This is the safest time to enlist in the military right now. Whereas when I enlisted back in 2007, the war in Afghanistan was popping off, and we were deploying yearly overseas to the desert doing that. So if this was 2007, it would be a completely different story, but it's not. It's 2023, and if you enlist right now in any branch, even in the infantry, and you're like, I'm gonna go overseas and kill bad guys and shoot people, whatever, it's like, guys, that's not even going on right now outside of specific specialized groups such as Special Forces and things like that. Raiders, Airborne, Green Berets, whatnot. But those are the guys who are doing to do that stuff, not regular people like you and me. So if you think that just because you're in the military, you have to deploy overseas and go in harm's way and whatnot, it's just not true. And that's for all branches too. So again, if that's a reason why you're considering not joining the military, just keep that in mind. Another big misconception is that your recruiter chooses your job for you, guys. I've heard that I don't want to join the Marine Corps because my recruiter is going to give me open contract. My recruiter is going to make me a cook or some other job. And by the way, guys, there's like 300 jobs in the Marine Corps that every time I sit down and talk to somebody, they have no idea about. And they're like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Yeah, because guys, we have this big red book right here, this thick book that has jobs, careers, and everything that we talk about in the Marine Corps. So if you've never seen one of these books and you never talked to a recruiter in 2023 and you've never seen this right here, then you have no idea what jobs we have. So I definitely welcome you to go talk to your local Marine Corps recruiter and ask them to see the technical skills tab in here. Look at all the careers that we have, because it's more than open contract. It's definitely more than infantry, and it's more than cook. Don't believe me? Talk to a recruiter. But seriously, guys, everyone's like, if I join the Marine Corps, I have to go infantry. No, you don't. If I join the Marine Corps, I'm going to go open contract. Guys, fun fact, just so we all are on the same page, open contract is a job in the Marine Corps, but believe it or not, you have to qualify for open contract. You literally can't just give an open contract to somebody. Every job in the Marine Corps, no matter who you are, you sign a contract for that job. You sign a contract for that job in the Marine Corps. We don't choose your job. You get your job based off your ASVAB score and what you qualify for. To qualify for open contract, you have to have decent line scores, which is kind of funny because people get all crazy about open contract. It does exist, but it doesn't exist in the manner in which you think it does. And again, I don't choose your job for you. You choose your job for you. I'm like, hey man, let me keep it real. Give me your top 3, and I guarantee you'll get one of those top 3, if not your first one, every single time, if you qualify for it. I'm not going to give you something you don't qualify for. So damn, it just gets me and grinds my gears every time. Those are some of the big misconceptions when it comes to the military here in 2023. And I hope you guys learned something from this video today. And if you did, leave me a like, consider subscribing. And if you do, hit that notification bell so that whenever I post new content, shorts, videos, community involvement, hit the notifications so you guys can engage and help grow this channel from where it is right now to 10, 15, 20, 100,000 subscribers sometime in the future.